talk, Digitize and Thrive. It's given by Rakesh Krishnamurti. So he's the Director of Enterprise Sales at PayPal. Rakesh is responsible for driving PayPal's large merchant portfolio growth across Southeast Asia. He oversees a team that empowers customers in a range of industries to leverage PayPal's full-stack payment platform for cross-border expansion. He has over 20 years of experience in consumer and merchant payment industry. In between corporate stints at Citibank, Nets, and leading Southeast Asia's payment provider, 2C2P, Rakesh also co-founded and ran a regional marketing consultancy that served Visa, Singtel, MasterCard, and United Overseas Bank. Welcome, Rakesh.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time and more importantly, braving the unknown to be here this morning. Thank you, Renosis, for inviting us back again to share with you some of the insights that we've gathered over the last couple of years. It feels kind of weird for me. I don't know about Nick. Nick was just like a fish to water, right? He just like jumped onto the screen. It's been almost 2 years for me since I've come to a face-to-face event, and I think it's great. Feeling a bit nervous, because I haven't had a chance to meet, people in face-to-face. So just a quick show of hands. How many of you guys, for you guys, this is your first face-to-face event that you've been since the COVID? Wow, some brave souls out there. Wonderful. So hopefully, the next 20 or so minutes is going to be interesting for you. So as mentioned, my name is Rakesh, and I'm the Director of New Enterprise Sales at PayPal. I've been with the company for about close to 7 years now, covering this remarkable region of Southeast Asia. Now, there's so much that we can talk about in payments, but what I'll focus a little bit more on today is about the rise of the digital wallets, right? Something that's very close to our hearts, of course, right? And what we've done is I'm going to share with you some findings that we did with a research that was just recently commissioned. So a lot of what you see up here is literally hot off the press, something that just came out last week. So do forgive me if some of the data seems odd or if there's some contention. But we put together what we call a PayPal cross-border insights research. It was commissioned for the period December 20 and to February 21. Yep. Okay. So 2020 brought a remarkable shift. I think Nick talked a lot. A lot of what I've been talking about today kind of dovetails very nicely into what Nick has already spoken about. We brought a remarkable change to surge of e-commerce, and by some estimates, we've grown 3 to 5, maybe even 10 years in the last year or so due to what the pandemic has done. Now, global online retail sales, right, grew from about 3.3 trillion to about 4.2 to 4.3 trillion in 2020 alone. Now, you want to put that into context. That's the equivalent of adding a United States, right, a second United States to the global online retail sales in 1 year. Okay, that kind of seismic shifts that we've seen, in this, is why we've took out the time to survey over 5,000 customers and merchants across 13 markets, right? And you can have a copy of this survey as well. And based on some of the estimates, 56, more than half of them, I've already saying they're going to be shopping more online. They've been shopping more online during the pandemic. So I think that's a data point that kind of well supports what the rise in global sales is, and obviously what Nick was talking about just now. The shoppers we surveyed not only cared about how much they were shopping, but also how they paid. So when it comes to e-commerce, right, offering the preferred payment method is key, right? So imagine you spend thousands and hundreds and thousands of dollars, right, in the SEO and SEM, to bring about, let's say, 100 prospects to your site. And based on our research, 20 of them are going to say, no, thank you, if they don't see the preferred payment method. So what happens? Immediately, your cost per acquisition goes northwards. So having a localized, widely accepted payment method is going to be of utmost importance. So now we know that shoppers feel very strongly about what payment methods they use, right? But what are the key drivers when it comes to the preferred payment method? And it's no surprise they value convenience, right? More than half of the respondents, right, saying that. And then if you ask this question maybe about 5 years ago, security, having a secure payment method or secure online payment method would have been more or ranked higher. But in the last 5 or so years, with the advent of technology, convenience has obviously overtaken that, and the technology has obviously mitigated a lot of the security issues. But it still ranks second, right? Speed of processing, right? How fast is the response from the merchant with regards to payment completion, and other acceptance orders ranks high, because in this online world, right, your buyers want to know if their payments have been accepted, right? When are they expecting the delivery? So having this clear communication, instantaneous responses from your payments provider, payments partner, is going to be absolutely key. So, and rounding up the top 4 is actually how widely accepted the method is by retailers. So I would put it another way, it's ubiquity. So people obviously feel a little bit more sure about shopping on your site if they see a payment brand that is also available on the other sites as well. So what are digital wallets? I'm sure all of you today must have interacted with it. I mean, I did myself. On the way here, I got into the Grab. I paid with a digital wallet, of course, with PayPal. Naturally, I have to. But over the years, I've had the privilege of watching the payments industry evolve. From the days where Visa and MasterCard led the digitization of payments, right? The charge for the digitization of payments. And then you had the banks. A lot of the banks in this region started to come forward to be a big acquisition of consumers. And then over the last few years, what we saw was the rise of the digital wallets, right, who delivered on the promise of security, safety, convenience for a new set of users and a new set of customers in there, in the region as well. So some examples obviously are Apple Pay, Google Pay, Grab Pay, and of course, yours truly, PayPal as well. So as digital wallets gain popularity, the world is catching on, right? This is a statistic. They say about almost half of the shoppers worldwide currently prefer wallets, right? While 50% of the world is expected to be using them by 2024. And on top of that, digital payments, right, is expected to grow by 50% by 2025. In our own business alone, we're all about digital payments, but not only is digital payments growing, but the size of mobile payments is growing as well. So digital wallets have permeated our lives, in the last couple of years. I talked to my Grab just now, and this past Sunday, right, I paid Eddie at Eddie Seafood in a local wet market here. So this is the Singapore wet market, right? Everybody goes in shorts and slippers. And I paid for my seafood with a QR code. So can you imagine? Wet market with uncles and aunties in Singapore, and here I am scanning my QR code. That's probably the last bastion of cash, if I would say so. But digital wallets and digitization of cash is truly a growing phenomenon. Now that we have more consumers than ever using digital wallets, right, it's becoming more important for businesses to accept digital wallets naturally. So increase loyalty, it attracts new customers. So what are the considerations? What are the advantages, of accepting a digital wallet? So I'll spend a bit of time talking about 2 advantages. 1, driving conversions. Now, doesn't it irk you when you get a notification from your service provider that the card that you put on file, right, that your card you stored with them, was declined for a charge for whatever reason? Well, that happened to me, right? I had an insurance policy, right, that was on a recurring card, and for some reason it was declined. I have no idea why. So naturally, it's an insurance policy. I got an SMS to say it was declined, and I hurriedly, quickly made a purchase because I didn't want the policy to lapse because of a non-payment. But in a digital wallet, right, because of the ability to have multiple funding sources, this gets mitigated, right? There's one funding source fails, it moves to the next one, and it offers, this peace of mind to the consumer, right? So, and obviously to the merchant, a more efficient operating cadence as well. So even in non-recurring one-time transactions, digital wallets, they offer backup options to funding sources, resulting in obviously a much faster way for you to close your sales. Another benefit of a digital wallet, or any digital wallet, not just PayPal for that matter, is that it gives you reach, right? Digital wallets obviously operate in a closed loop, two-sided network. And what they do is they go out to acquire new customers, and enabling a digital wallet obviously enables you to tap onto the customers that the wallets bring. In our case, we have over 400 million active users across 200 markets that automatically become a customer base that you can tap on, that you can rely on to grow your revenue as well. So, a couple of advantages. There's a few more. You can read about it in the full report, but I want to talk about a few other things as well. Now, online selling is tough. Now, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, right? Merchants face all kinds of challenges in all forms, and customer expectations are definitely one of them, right? In this day of, I want it now, I want it fast, right? We learned that, shoppers have come to expect, convenience and speed. And one of the research results showed that 1 in 5 shoppers actually abandon their carts, right, before the checkout, if the checkout process is too complex. Now, how do you go about resolving that, right? Now, one way to deliver on consumer expectations is to improve your checkout experience, of course, right? Avoid routing consumers or your customers to a different site, right, to complete their payments or to retrieve a 6-digit code from the SMS and return to the site. That's a conversion killer, right, for sure. And having too many payment options can also be overwhelming, right? There is a local marketplace here in Singapore. I've looked at their checkout page. They have 16 options, payment options for a market like Singapore, where we're highly banked, we're highly carded. Is it a bit too many? Perhaps. But if you think about it from an operating standpoint, you have a finance team now having to manage 16 different reconciliations. Great for the consumer, but how does it improve your operating efficiency? Now, giving your customers an option to pay with a digital wallet can help speed up the checkout process and eliminate the need for the payment information and reduce the risk of cart abandonment. And some digital wallets like ours has the ability for you to pass even the delivery address that's stored in the wallet over into your checkout page as well. So obviously you then negate the effort or the need for your customer to fill out the delivery address twice again. And of course, helping you, Mr. Merchant, to close your sales a bit faster. A significant shift to online shopping means businesses are no longer limited to selling domestically, right? So how can you reach your new audience to expand cross-border? I think COVID has certainly brought this issue to front and center, where we realize this is that businesses where they don't have a domestic market have now got to look cross-border for new markets and new opportunities of growth. So what do? You expand your reach with a trusted payment provider, a trusted payments partners. There's a whole bunch of us here today, right? Wallets offer security, and I mentioned just now a global reach, 400 million consumers on our side, and trusted regional payment options that are suitable for your customers in their markets. They give you the flexibility to grow your base, both domestically and internationally. And over the years, we built up a two-sided network of almost, as I said, 400 million consumers and 20 million merchants across 200 markets. So hopefully that's 400 reasons for any particular merchant here to consider us as well. There are a lot of bad actors that want to come to the party of online commerce, right? There's a recent survey that revealed that cybercrime has become the third largest economy behind the US and China. I don't want to scare you, but I think sometimes it's the truth, right? The rise in online shopping has also given way to the rise in fraud. And customers have noticed because about half of them, 52% of our consumers have chose the preferred payment method because it's secure, right? And about a third said having a well-known brand is also important. So how do you give your customers a peace of mind when they're shopping with you? Now, offering a digital wallet from a brand your consumers know and trust gives consumers the additional control of payment security, right? In my earlier slide, 52% of respondents cited security as a key determinant in their favorite way to pay, right? Security comes in several forms, right? In our case, what we do is we never ever reveal our customers' payment credentials to the merchants. So that's security, that's peace of mind. Now, with our two-sided network of the merchants and the consumers that we have, we generate almost 20 billion transactions a year. Think about that. So imagine the data lake, right, that our fraud algorithms know that, for instance, you have a Singaporean PayPal account user who's in Japan right now, shopping online at 2 a.m. at night, and from a site in France, and paying with his PayPal, and wanting that item to be shipped to his friend in Mexico. That customer will know if he uses the PayPal wallet, it's going to be highly likely it's going to be approved. Whereas in the normal card processing world, that potentially could be flagged up as a fraudulent transaction. So I think this is the other aspect of a wallet, right? Whether it's ours or some of the others, that bring to the capabilities that you can bring to a potential merchant, and that's offering convenience, seamless, and obviously a delightful customer experience. Now, last but not least, things do go wrong. I'm not saying that they never go wrong, and when they do, right, the actors love to come to the party and disrupt the business. Consumers here are protected, right, by what we call the buyer protections. And not only that, because we are a two-sided network, we also have a seller protection that protects the seller as well. So with these two protection layers, with the data, with all the algorithms that we have, a digital wallet would be a extremely useful tool for you to address your security concerns or your customer security concerns as well. Now, cash flow, is key for small businesses or for any business for that matter, right? So, and with the economic slowdown of 2020, businesses started to experience a lot of cash flow issues, right? So this is often a result of late payments and slow processing time for cash and eventually checks as well. So, here we go. So certain digital wallets can help you meet your operational needs as well. 57% of small businesses said they've increased the use of digital service for B2B payments because of increased speed, security, and obviously transparency as well. One thing to consider is how quickly payments are typically processed, and how will it affect your access to funds? How will it affect the business's access to funds? So in our case, our digital wallet provides instantaneous access to consumers' payments to you. So what that means is it provides immediate liquidity, right, for immediate repurchase from another supplier or another vendor who may be a PayPal merchant themselves. So that gives you the option of, the flexibility of scheduling an early payment, perhaps for even better terms or even costs as well. And if you plan to sell internationally, a digital wallet also like ours, also gives you the option to accept in multiple currencies. And that, alleviates another issue or headache of managing multi-currency or foreign currency transactions as well. So all these capabilities, it's in a way helping a merchant to develop a broader and tighter cash flow management as well. Keeping up with new technologies is expensive, right? Business owners are always worried about how much more do I have to invest in order to keep up to speed with what is in the market. A third of all these businesses that we polled said this is a key consideration. And what do you need to do when you consider this issue, and how do you address this issue of increasing business costs? Digital wallets provide solutions, right? Because digital wallets are built in a way to future-proof, the new and emerging payment methods and payment options in each market. So this gives you the ability to adopt new capabilities as the need arises for any merchant without the significant investment that's required. So as we continue to shift to e-commerce, businesses have to be ready for anything, right? Digital wallets give your customers flexibility that they want, choice, right? The convenience they expect, and obviously the security that they need at the checkout as well. So this is something that we've helped millions of merchants across the world by offering the customers the preferred way to pay and connecting you with 400 million active users all across the world. Our latest fraud technology delivers secure payments, fast local payouts, and obviously better financial management for you as well. And with our track record of continuous innovation, we are always in the forefront of future-proofing the platform for the businesses today and of tomorrow as well. So if you're interested to read more about a full report, this is a QR code which you could scan. In addition to this report on consumer insights, we have several others. One would be the Borderless Commerce Report, which gives you a full report of what consumers are expecting from their merchants in 13 countries across the world. So on behalf of PayPal, I would like to thank you for your attention and your time. Big hello to everybody online, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the day, and thank you very much.